In the land of Uz lived Job, a man blameless and upright, who feared God and turned away from evil. He was blessed with 7 sons and 3 daughters, and his possessions were vast. Job 1:1-3. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. And the Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" So Satan answered the Lord and said, "From going to and fro on the earth, and from walking back and forth on it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil?" Then Satan answered the Lord and said, "Doth Job fear God for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face." And the Lord said unto Satan, "Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand." So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Job 1:6-12. Now there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And a messenger came to Job and said,
The oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them when the Sabaeans raided them and took them away. Indeed, they have killed the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you.
While he was still speaking, another also came and said,
The fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I alone have escaped to tell you.
While he was still speaking, another also came and said,
The Chaldeans formed 3 bands, raided the camels, and took them away. Yes, and killed the servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to tell you.
While he was still speaking, another also came and said,
Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And suddenly, a great wind came from across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they are dead. And I alone have escaped to tell you.
Then Job arose, tore his robe, and shaved his head. And he fell to the ground and worshipped. And he said,
Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
But in all this, Job did not sin nor charge God with wrong. Again there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said to Satan, From where do you come? Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro on the earth, and from walking back and forth on it. Then the Lord said to Satan, Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil? And still he holds fast to his integrity, although you incited me against him, to destroy him without cause. So Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin. Yes, all that a man has he will give for his life. But stretch out your hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will surely curse you to your face. And the Lord said to Satan, Behold, he is in your hand, but spare his life. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and struck Job with painful boils from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. And he took for himself a potsherd with which to scrape himself while he sat in the midst of the ashes. Then his wife said to him,
Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die.
You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God, and shall we not accept adversity?
Now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this adversity that had come upon him, each one came from his own place, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. For they had made an appointment together to come and mourn with him, and to comfort him. And when they raised their eyes from afar and did not recognize him, they lifted their voices and wept, and each one tore his robe and sprinkled dust on his head toward heaven. So they sat down with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that his grief was very great. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day he was born, lamenting the anguish he endured and wishing he had never been born. He expressed his despair and anguish, questioning the purpose of his existence and longing for death to end his suffering. Job 3, 1-26. Job's friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, argued that Job must have sinned to deserve such punishment, urging him to repent and seek God's forgiveness. In response to Job's questioning, God spoke to him out of the whirlwind. Instead of answering Job's inquiries directly, God revealed his power and wisdom by asking a series of rhetorical questions. He challenged Job's limited understanding of the universe and affirmed his sovereignty over all creation. Job 38, 41. After God's powerful discourse, he instructed Job's 3 friends to make sacrifices and have Job pray for them, acknowledging their erroneous counsel. God then restored Job's fortunes, giving him twice as much as he had before. Job prayed for his friends, and the Lord accepted his prayer, turning Job's suffering into a season of blessing and restoration. Job 42, 7-10. The story of Job provides valuable insights into faith, suffering, and God's sovereignty. Job's steadfast trust in God during his intense suffering demonstrates the importance of maintaining faith in God's goodness and control over all circumstances. His humble attitude before God reminds us to approach him with reverence and trust, acknowledging his wisdom and authority. Moreover, Job's experiences emphasize the significance of showing compassion towards others in their times of need and highlight the eventual vindication of those who remain faithful to God. Ultimately, Job's life serves as a timeless example of faith in the midst of adversity and the enduring presence of God's grace. For more uplifting content and insights, be sure to subscribe to the Inspire Flow channel. Thank you for watching, and may you continue to find strength and hope in your own faith journey.